So if you notice on the board, you have a quiz on Friday. So it's a quiz on elimination method. So we're going to take the next 2 days excuse me, to review everything that we've done in elimination method. Okay? And on Friday, if you've done your homework, you will be able to use your review pages for your quiz. Okay? To help you do better. So, we're going to start by writing down the 2 things that I need for elimination method to work. What do I need for elimination method to work? Good. So we're going to write this down at the top of our page. I need the same digit and opposite sign. Do you need a pencil? Mr. G, Mr. Kevin needs a pencil. Grab it. He's got one. Okay? Everybody remember that. Same digit, opposite sign. Correct? Okay. So we're going to start off by looking at our x's and our y's, and we're going to see if we can eliminate some. Okay? So let's look at number 1. My x's, same digit? No. Right? If I put a 1 there, they don't have the same digit. They are opposite sign, though. How about my y's? So I can actually eliminate my y's, right? And I don't have to multiply by anything, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. So that tells me I can just do that. Okay? How about number 3? Can I eliminate anything? X or Y? So then I'm going to go ahead and put my plus sign and cross those out, because I can eliminate those. Okay. How about number 5? I can eliminate my x's, right? Same digit, opposite sign. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay. Do 2, 4, and 6. See if you can figure out what you can eliminate. Okay, so let's look at number 2. Did we figure out if we could eliminate anything? X or Y's? My x's, right? Because they're both 1. How about number 4? Can I eliminate anything? X or Y's? X's. How about number 6? X or Y's? X's, right? Because it's 9 and 6. They're not the same digit. Okay, so for those guys, I don't have to multiply. We can just eliminate straight down, right? So we're going to do 1, and then I'm going to give you some time to work on the rest, okay? Which one do you want to do together? Okay, let's do 1. Remember, this is not x, it's 1x. 1 is shy, but we added him there, right? So if I eliminate my y's, that's just going to be 0. So I have a positive 1x and a negative 5. What does that give me? Positive or negative? So I'm going to have a negative 4x, right? Now I have a positive 18 and a negative 26. What does that give me? Is it going to be a negative or positive number? It's going to be a negative. What is 26 minus 18? Good. So it's going to be negative 8. And how do I undo this? I'm going to divide both sides by a negative 4. What does x equal? Okay, so I have a negative and a negative, so they both become positive. X is equal to 2. But I want to know what my answer is in the form of an ordered pair. So I know that x is 2, but I don't know what y is. Whoops. What is my y? How do I figure out what my y is? I need to plug it in, plug it in. Oh, sorry, that's a Glade commercial or something. So let's go ahead and put my x in for the top one, right? So instead of x, it'll be 2. plus 2y equals 18. And then I use my steps to solve it, right? So I have to add the opposite. What's the opposite of 2? So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 2 from both sides. This becomes 0. I bring down my 2y. What is 18 minus 2? And then how do I solve this? Divide both sides by 2. Excellent. What does y equal? Y equals 8. So my answer in the form of an ordered pair is 2, 8, right? And there's my, oops, can you see that? 2, 8. That's my answer. My x is equal to 2, my y equals 8. I write it in the form of an ordered pair. So if I were to graph these systems of equations, this is where they would intersect. Okay? All right, so I'm going to give you about 5 minutes, and I want you to work on 2 through 6. Yes, guys. I still need your attention. Still waiting for your attention. Matthew. All right, so some of you guys are telling me that number 2 is impossible. I'm going to show you how it is possible. Okay, so if I'm subtracting negative 2 from a positive 1, I'm going to end up with a negative 1y. I can't have a negative y, right? That's my third unwritten rule. 22 minus 15 gives me a positive 7. So when I divide both sides by negative 1, my answer is going to be negative 7 for y. Okay? So when I substitute negative 7 up here, I'm going to end up multiplying a negative 2 times a negative 7, which gives me a positive 14. Okay? So I have x plus 14 is equal to 22. I'm going to add the opposite of plus positive 14 by subtracting 14 from both sides. So that gives me x is equal to negative 8, because 22 minus 14 is negative 8. Or 8, I'm sorry. So my answer becomes positive 8, negative 7. Where were you? How did you guys get confused with number 2? Isaiah first and then Andrew. Say again? Why did I have this negative 2? Because it's part of my original equation. I can't change my equation. I'm not changing my 2. I'm just substituting instead of y, what does y equal? Negative 7. So I still have to multiply these 2. Okay? Andrew, where did you get confused? There you go. Okay? So make sure you're paying attention to what your answer is and where you're substituting. All right? I'm going to zoom out a bit, and I want you guys to check your work for 3 through 6. Yep. Oh, let's do 3 through 5 first so that you guys can see. 3 and 5. Go ahead and check your work. Question? How? Practice. Huh? I think he's dead. Alright, so make sure you have the answers that I have. You don't copy my work. I want you to go home and do the work, but now you have the answer. Okay? Write down the answer. We're going to move on, and we're going to look at 7 through 12. Okay? So let's look at 7 through 12. I want you to look at your x's and your y's again. Are there any numbers that I can eliminate that have those same digit opposite sign requirements? No. Not here. How about here? No. How about here? How about here? All right, so obviously we're going to have to do some multiplying, right? So let's look. Can I turn 4 into 12? Yes, so I'm going to have to multiply this bottom row, right? They have opposite sign, but they don't have same digit. What can I multiply 4 by to make it 12? A 3. So I'm going to end up multiplying this row to get this answer. Okay? which means that I'm going to move this guy over, and I'm going to multiply everything and get my new equation. Let's look at 8. What do I need to multiply? The bottom one? Okay, so what do I have? I can make 3 into 9 by multiplying it by what? 6 times 3 is 18. 3 times 2 is 6. So I need to multiply it by 3. But is that going to give me opposite sign? So what do I need to multiply it by? Negative 3. All right? Does that make sense? Okay. So let's look at 9 through 12. Go ahead and take some time. Yeah, so look at 9 through 12 and figure out what you have to multiply. Top or bottom. Top and bottom. I think 9 through 12 are only 1. You're going to have to multiply 1. So go ahead and try and figure out what you're multiplying by. Take about 3 minutes to do that, and then I'll come back and check your work. So for number 9, check your answers. Make sure that you're multiplying. I multiplied the top one by 3 because I'm going to eliminate my y's. They already have opposite sign. Do I want to multiply by 9? That's too big of a number, right? If I can multiply times 3 and eliminate my y's, that might be the better deal for me. Okay? So let's go ahead and do number 7 together. Okay, so I don't multiply my top number, so I'm just going to bring negative 12x minus 2y equals negative 20. I'm just going to bring that on over. And then I'm going to multiply everything by 3. So 3 times 4x is positive 12x. 3 times 3y is positive 9y. 3 times a 2 is going to be positive 6, right? Now I'm just going to add them together. What am I eliminating, x's or y's here? I eliminate my x's. So here I have a negative 2y and a positive 9y. So 9 minus 2 is going to give me what? 7y. So here I have to subtract 6 from 20, right? Because I have a positive. I'm actually finding the difference. But my answer is going to be negative. But this is a positive, so I'm subtracting, Andrew. I'm subtracting 6 from 20. What is 20 minus 6? It's 14. I know, because you added them. This is not a negative. This is a positive 6. So I have to subtract. Negative 14. Because you added. I don't know. You added. Okay. So then I'm going to go ahead and undo this by dividing by 7, right? Oops. My pencil went crazy. So y is equal to a negative divided by a positive. Is going to give me a positive or negative answer? Negative. What is 14? Okay. Now I can take this negative 2 and substitute it, right, Andrew? Which one would you do? This one with all the negatives or my bottom one with no negatives? What would you do, Jordan? I'd do the bottom one. So y is going to be negative 2. So I'm going to take my 4x plus 3, and instead of my y, I'm substituting this negative 2, and it's going to equal positive 2. Now I'm just going to work through my equation, right? 3 times a negative 2 is what?
6.
What kind of 6? Negative 6. 4x minus 6 now is going to equal 2, right? But I'm going to add the opposites. I'm going to do plus 6 on both sides. And that's going to give me 4x is equal to 8. Running out of room. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. What does x equal? 2. So my answer will be 2, comma, negative 2 in the form of an ordered pair. Okay, we're just going to keep practicing, and that's why you have all this practice for tonight. Right?
Number 1 was like kind of easy, and now number 2 is like, do all of this work. It's a lot of steps.
All right. So it's 9:15. Okay, work on these, but we're gonna flip the page over because I want us to look at the next couple that we have to do here. I'm gonna have you guys cross off 13, 14, 15, and 16. So we're going to look at cross off 21 and 22. Okay. Now let's look at 17, 18, 19, and 20. Look at 17, 18, 19, and 20, guys. Attention over here. Over here, guys. Over here. Isaiah, I'm waiting. Isaiah, I'm waiting. Still waiting. Louder. So we're only on the back side. You're only responsible for 17, 18, 19, and 20. Well, we're going to look at them right now. Okay, let's look at our X's and our Y's. Can I turn 5 into 7 or 7 into 5? 4 into 7 or 7 into 4? That means I have to multiply both my top and my bottom. Okay, so I need to find those common denominators, my lowest common multiplier. Yeah, so this is going to be 35 and this is going to be 28, right? But let me see. Can 4, 16, nope. 18, nope. So I'm going to have to pick one. Which one would you pick? 5 and 7 or 4 and 7? Lower numbers, right? So they're already, these guys are already opposite, right? So we don't have to do a negative number. So I'm going to multiply my bottom by 4 to make that the same. And I'm going to multiply my top by 7. Before we do that, let's go ahead and look at the other three. See if we can set them up for you. Nope, I can't, right? So I'm going to have to pick. But you know what? 6 and 10, maybe I can come up with a smaller number instead of 6 and 10. 6 times 5 is 30, right? And 10 times 3 is 30. So can I use 5 and 3? So I'm going to go ahead and multiply by 5 and multiply by 3, right? But look, they're both positive. So could I change the sign of one? Top or bottom? Top? Does it matter? Can it be either one? It can be either one. You guys are saying negative 3, so we're going to use negative 3. Question, Laura?
Why can't we do this and afterwards?
Because you're in the 8th grade. Alright, so let's look at 19. Can I turn my 9 into a 2 or a 2 into a 9? Can I turn my 81 into an 18 or 18 into an 81? I don't know. Looks like we got some big numbers here. Let's focus on 9 and 2, right? No. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to multiply both my top and my bottom numbers. Okay? Can I just do 9 and 2? Is that probably easier for me? So I'm going to multiply the top by a 2 and the bottom by a 9. But look, they're the same digit. So which one do I want to make a negative? The 2? Negative 2. Because it doesn't matter. It could be either one. So I'm going to assume that 20, I'm also going to have to multiply my top and my bottom, right? Because that's just the way I designed this worksheet. I do. So which ones do I want to use? 5 and 7 or 4 and 7 again? This time we'll do 5 and 7. Doesn't matter. They're both negative. Oh, but look at 4 and 7 are already opposite signs. So maybe we should do 4 and 7?
Yeah.
Because then I don't have to use multiply by a negative, which can be confusing for you guys. So we're just going to use 4 and 7. Okay? So now I've helped you set up these problems. Yes?
No.
On your quiz, you will probably have one like this. Okay? So let's go ahead and do one. Which one do you want to do?
20.
Let's do 19 because it's got this negative and some big numbers over here. We got some big numbers. So I'm going to need my calculator because you know what? I just don't do that kind of math in my head anymore because I'm old. So what is a negative 2 times a negative 9? It's going to give me positive 18x, right? A negative 2 times an 81. Oh, I'm going to get a negative and a big number. So I'm going to have negative 162y. Negative 2 times a positive 15 is going to give me what? 15 times 2 is 30, but it's going to be a negative 30. It's going to have some big numbers in this equation, so I'm glad we did this one. So again, negative 9 times a negative, or positive 9 times a negative 2 is going to give me a negative 18x. That's what I'm eliminating, right? 9 times 18, I don't know that. I'm going to go ahead and multiply it in my calculator. I have a positive 162y. What's 9 times 4? And they're both positive, so my answer is going to be a positive 36. Well, look at this. I have opposite sign, same digit, so that eliminates 2. That gives me a 0 on this side. I have negative 30 and a positive 36. What does that give me on this side? It gives me a positive 6. Is 0 equal to positive 6? So if it's not equal, what is my answer? Special answers, remember? No solution. Okay, so I'm going to write down here special answers, and I want you guys to write them too. Because you can use, remember, you can use this. What are my special answers? One of them is no solution, right? And my no solution is when it does not equal, right? But what's my other special answer? Anybody remember? What's my other special answer? Say it again. There you go. Infinitely. Good job. Infinitely many solutions. And we can also call it all real numbers. It depends on the test maker. All real numbers. And that is when it equals each other. When 0 equals 0, or 2 equals 2, or 3 equals 3. Okay, so those are the special answers. I want you to write them down, because you're going to be able to use this on your test on Friday. Okay, so here we have this special one. You could also have infinitely many, or all real numbers, when they equal each other. And that's less work. So this one that we thought was a lot of work really wasn't too much work after all. Okay? So go ahead. Take the rest of the class period to do this. We'll go over the answers tomorrow. Make sure you have the right answers. And then we'll do some more practice tomorrow for a quiz on Friday.